kydex sheath. Right, two main styles. Something called a taco sheath, which is this here, made from one piece of kydex which has been folded around the knife and then eyeletted up the side. The advantage, I think, of the taco style sheath is that it tends to be a little bit smaller. You have less hardware in it. You can put more hardware, but yeah, it tends to be smaller. You can make it smaller and has less hardware. It's the main advantages. The next type of sheath is what we're going to do today, and that's called a pancake sheath. And that's two identical pieces of kydex put on top of each other and the knife sandwiched between the two. I think sandwich would be a better term, but the Americans made the term. So it's a pancake. Now, when working with kydex, kydex isn't super cheap, unfortunately. And I've found that it's better to give yourself a lot more excess material than try and be frugal, and if you make it stuff up and you're being frugal, you can't really go back and fix it. So in the long run, it's cheaper to use more material and avoid catastrophic mistakes. Now, what I do is I always add 25 millimeters around the total amount of space I need. So I give myself a 25 millimeter as sort of surplus. And then I give myself the width of the knife, which is in this case total of, well, it's going to be sort of 40 millimeters is the stock I used. So we're going to mark roughly 40 and then give ourselves another 25 mils, and that comes to 95. So I'm just going to call it 100. Put that there, give myself 100. It may seem excessive, but it gives me enough fat that if something goes wrong, I can fix it. And then, since I'm going to use two pieces, another 100. Now, for the actual height, I want, again, just eyeball it, and the height is about there. So I'm going to add 25 mils to there. Mark. Again, doesn't have to be super accurate. So that is 190. So I'll just tidy up these two marks, lines. Now, obviously, there's some material here which kind of just sticks out there. It's difficult to cut, and sometimes, depending on how you do it. But the idea is that we're going to try and cut this section out and leave this here. Sometimes what I do is chop the whole lot off and then chop this off. It can be used for something. Today I might try and preserve that. So we'll get to chopping and then we'll come back once we've done that. And you can just mark the lines with a Stanley blade, Stanley knife, sharp knife will work fine. And again, I tend to work just to the outside of the line if at all possible. And once you start, you don't want your roller to move. Once you've cut your 9 lines with your standing knife, you can just fairly easily bend it and snap it, so the knife will be pancaked or sandwiched between these two bits of kydex. Kydex has a smooth side and a sort of textured side, and the way I like to do it is to have the textured side on the outside. Now you notice that I've wrapped up the knife blade with masking tape. This is not just so that it's safe to handle, it's also so that there's a little bit of space between the kydex so that when it's sandwiched, pancaked together, there will be a slight amount of room on the blade but not on the handle, so that kydex won't scratch the blade too much. It still can do it, especially if you get a little bit of sand or something stuck in there. The kydex has a Rockwell hardness around 90, 92 or something, and that's 59, so I don't know what the sand is, but sand will scratch the knife blade if it's stuck between kydex and the metal, so I put the masking tape there as a bit of a spacer. Also, I've put that there so that's a drain hole, so if water gets in the sheath it will come out, and because I do recurves I've got a cutout here, so I've put in a little wooden spacer in here so that the kydex doesn't pinch hard into the gap where the recurve has been cut out of the metal, and stop the blade getting in and out when it makes the bulge, which is further up here. It's the first time I've tried doing a wooden spacer, so hopefully that'll work. Next you've got to heat up the oven. Now I heat it up to 170 degrees centigrade, and once it's at that temperature the kydex will go in there for about 2 minutes. Then I will put it into this kydex press, essentially. So hot kydex, knife, second piece of hot kydex, press down, will form around the blade, and that is the sheath started. So I'm not sure how well you're about to see this, because I'm going to have to work quite quickly for it all to go together. So you may see it and you may not. So, kydex, knife, up there. Second piece of hot kydex, close, clamp like a maniac, clamp the other side like a maniac. we play the waiting game. Moment of truth. Here we go. Now, if it's totally stuffed up, it doesn't matter that much because I can just reheat it and it'll come out straight again, and we can have another attempt. I think that's going to work. Got a few bumps and lumps, but they will come out in the shaping process. So that is stage 1 of a kydex sheath. Next I mark up very roughly where I want the eyelets to go. Now this is a bit of a haphazard process. I want them a certain distance apart to work with attachment system. I don't want it to be over the top with lots of them, and I want them to be sort of in the right position. So I make lots of markings until I'm satisfied before I draw the holes. Once you draw the holes, that's game over. So you'll be very satisfied where they are before you go ahead and do the drilling. I've started drilling the holes. Now these are, again, American eyelets I use, and so the holes are 1/4 inch. So you can't use 6mm bit, you need 6.35, which is 1/4 inch. Now, essentially it's 2 pieces at the moment, and they clip together. So the sheath will pop out of the sheath and pop back in when it's finished. So what we have to do is put the eyelets in and decide what I want to do to the end. So it's probably 2 more eyelets. I haven't decided where I want to put those yet.